All right, guys. So what we're gonna do is that as you can see, I have a clean start, right? Everything's nice and clean. So we're gonna go ahead and let me see. We're gonna go ahead and open a new VS Code window. And if you haven't guessed what I'm doing right now, then don't be surprised. You probably will eventually, and I'll let you know in a few minutes or so. So what we're gonna do here is that we're going to install npm. Right, so first and foremost, you have to open your web browser and go to nodes js nodejs.org, right? That's the official Node.js website. So you see two big download buttons. So let me show you. Right, so we got to go to node.js. Let's open up Google over here. I got to configure this desktop. So we're gonna go to nodejs.org. Right, so we should see a big old button, like I said, right? Mm, Big old button. All right, so one is for LTS, so that's the one we're gonna go with, and one is for current. So we're gonna click the LTS button, but I don't see the LTS. Here it is. Yeah. You know what I'm going to do actually, because I think this information is a little old. This was a year ago. I'm gonna go ahead and update my notes if you don't mind. Give me a few seconds. I'll be back. All right, so I updated the application. It should give me a better understanding of what's going on, and it's up to date, obviously, because when I was going through my notes or whatnot, these notes are old. They're from last year. I was like, no, I gotta change them up, you know. So my notes, I get my notes from various locations. Obviously, it has to do with the user agent. I don't want to be like, oh, the user agent did it all, because I have to vet this information. As you can see, that's exactly what I did right now. So let's keep having fun. So it says, what we need to do is open the browser, right, eventually, and go to nodejs.org. In this case, I'm gonna go to nodejs.org, but in America. So you put en /en, right? So that's what I'm going to do here. Yeah, this is exactly it. And eventually we had to go to the latest LTS, which is a long-term server. I believe is long-term server. No, it's so yeah, it's the better version. So I mean, the homepage layout changes over time, so that's why I was worrying about that. I was like, no, that's my notes are wrong. But you always be able to download Node.js from the main Get Node.js button or the download page. So we're gonna choose the LTS version for stability, unless you specifically need the latest current release. The exact version number will be different from this tutorial, and that's expected, right? So the installer is usually around a few dozen megabytes, which is nothing. Once the downloads, run the installer. So it's just that simple. So I'm just going to server minor. Okay, so there's a lot of information here, and these are like versions, no? They're all versions, and the latest update was April 15, 2026. So that was like 3 days ago. Right now we're on the 18th. Yeah, 3 days ago. So edit, no, table of content. So why would it go into a blog if I want to download? Let me click on Get Node.js, right? And then it tells me Windows installer. Okay, so it's giving me this version right here, which is the LTS now. And I could either click current, but like I was saying, the current version, it probably has bugs because it just came out like like what, 3 days ago, right? So it's like, yeah, there's a likelihood that if you download the current version, you might get a bug or two, and then you have to wait till somebody figures it out. Since this is open source, if they don't figure it out, then somebody else will. I'm not gonna go ahead and do that. I'm just gonna click on LTS and download that LTS. We need the Windows installer, I believe, would be the best case scenario. Um, I think that would be it. Okay, so I mean, the installer is usually the best option, right? Windows installer. So I'm gonna click on Windows installer. Okay, so I mean, now eventually it's going to ask you where to install node.js. I mean, the default location is obviously the best place to install it. Why would you want to go against the grain? Yeah, unless if you're like this, professional node.js um, a developer, which I'm not, but we're here to, make things work. And I know what process it takes to make it happen. So once you learn the process and you learn, I mean, when you have close to like 20 something years, programming, you should know something, even if it's on and off. I mean, I have a bachelor's degree in computer science, so and I'm very passionate about all this stuff. So it's downloaded. We're gonna go ahead and install it. So when you have passion, you can't go wrong. So we're gonna go ahead and run the installer, but in this case, we're gonna run it. I was thinking about running it admin, but I don't think that's a good idea. So I'm just gonna go ahead and double click it. That's all. So we're gonna click next. We're gonna accept all terms. All right. I'm gonna click next. We're gonna install exactly where it's telling us to install it. I'm not gonna change it. Click next, and then it's the custom setup is just so you can choose more applications. But it looks like they're all, yeah, yeah, it's good. I think we should click next, but let me, yeah, I mean, you want all the default features, so I would click next. That's what I would do. And then automatically install the necessary. Mm, so here's an important screen, right? So the tools for native modules, this installs additional build tools like Python and Visual Studio build tools. For most basic use, you don't need this, right? We don't need it because it's just a basically us having a little bit of fun and creating small applications or whatnot, just to, practice makes perfect situation, So I'll leave it on check. But if you plan to work with native, excuse me, but if you plan to work with native modules or complex packages, you might need it later. For now, leave it on check and click next. It's just that simple. So when you're gonna click install and allow the installer to make changes when prompted. So let it make its changes. I would just click next, like I said, and then just let it install and do its thing. You're gonna click yes to give it the authority. You know, I'm so glad that these applications nowadays they install quickly compared to like before. So it's finished. So we're gonna click finish. Has been successfully installed, right? So now, um, we have to verify it, right? So now let's verify it, right? So everything's installed correctly. We need to make sure that that's the case. We'll use the command prompt for this. We're gonna press Windows key, type CMD, and press enter to open CMD. So it's a simple process. All you have to do, we could press Windows. I like to press Control R for actually Windows R, and then CMD. So first, let's check if node.js is installed. So we're going to type node version, right? And then press enter. Let's do that. And I don't think I need the backtick or the single quotes. Click there, and it says version 24.15. Congratulations, you actually installed node.js. So clap it up. Give yourself a pat on the back. That's actually a milestone, if you ask me. Because based on my experience, there are times when you install in specific programs. I would say like maybe the worst time was like 8 years ago, or no, not too much. Obviously, 8 years ago was bad, but everybody knew that you have to have some sort of understanding of what you're doing before you install these type of packages. The installer didn't really do everything for you, such as um, when you're dealing with variables. Hey, so I want to show you guys what I mean by system variables, right? So before we had to actually look for the file or folder where system variables located, and usually you can find that by going to control panels. So you would have to type in control panels in your Explorer, and then the easy way to find it would be to actually search over here. Sometimes I like to challenge myself. It's been a while, but at this point, I'll probably just do the same thing that you would do, which would be search over here, system variables, and you click over here, edit the system environment variables. you would go to environment variables, and then what we had to do was go to path, like over here. So you would have to choose the correct place as to where to edit path. It would be either user variables or system variables. And as far as I remember, it's been like maybe like 3 years or more since I've actually edited system variables. I believe it's in system variables, which is exactly what we're talking about. Now we will look for path. Here's path. You would enter here. Yeah, let's click again. Actually, I think there's, let me see if it's here. Yeah, like that. You would double click there, but then again, why wouldn't it do the same here? Yeah, double click there, and then you would add npm. As you can see, it's not in, here in the system variable, and I believe this pertains to the system. Self-explanatory, right? Hence system. You want to X this out, and then let's check in user variables. Double click here, and as you can see, here's the the path. And it's pointing to the app data roaming npm. So this is basically telling the system, hey, this is user wide. We're able to, you're able to run specific commands or all the npm commands. Hence through node.js, which is bundled. npm is bundled with node.js, which gives it the capabilities to run JavaScript commands. And then you can also see here it has Microsoft Visual Studio Code, which also gives it the authority to run commands also. So that's pretty much what I wanted you guys to see. If you didn't write this correctly, it wouldn't work. Sometimes you would have to restart the computer, sometimes more than once. There were times when you would add more than just one path variable here. So you would have to like put a apostrophe or a comma here and add an extra one. Sometimes you would have to make sure you don't put any spaces. So it did get a little tricky, but overall, you get the job done. But you had to remember these steps carefully because any little mistake would basically, it would create errors. So keep that in mind. Nowadays, the installers will do everything for you before the installers didn't do this part. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted you guys to see. Next, because again, I don't install this every day. This last time I installed node.js was like maybe 2 years ago or so. But I'm doing this for educational purpose. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and we got the version. So perfect. Node.js is working. Now let's check npm. So we're gonna check. We're gonna do the same thing, but in this case, it's npm version, right? So let's do that. Right. So and it says npm is not recognized. Okay, so that's because it's not installed. Wait a minute. There's a problem here. You press the up arrow, right? So you get the same command, which is npm. You're gonna take this out off, delete that single quote. We're gonna press enter, and then now it should be okay. Good. So we got 2 applications installed in one day. Again, pat yourself in the back. This used to take maybe like an hour or two of constant debugging until you get it right. But now, thanks God, yeah, this is working. So now the next step we need to take, so I mean these commands work because the installer added node.js and npm to your system path. Before, like I said, we had to go to the system path environment variables and add the specific URL that's supposed to be in a bin folder, and make sure you put a semicolon in the right place, because if you don't, it won't work. And even if you do get it right, there's a likelihood that you had to restart the computer, which you didn't know, and then you last like a whole year trying to figure out. You never do. So that means you can run them from any folder in the command prompt. That's the whole purpose of the system path. So the path is like a list of folders Windows search when you type a command. So let's I mean, if you get an error that says node is not recognized, just in case, this is a tip for you, or npm is not recognized, this usually means the path wasn't set correctly. So the easiest fix is to restart your computer and try again, like I said, right? So the installer sometimes needs a restart to fully update the path. So assuming everything works, and it should, let's try running some actual npm commands, right? Um, so I mean, I don't want to have to. I'm not interested in running these commands at the moment. We'll run some later. Right now, we need to install a package. So let's install a package to see if npm. Actually, yeah, this is good. Yeah, we're gonna run commands because we're installing packages, right? To see if npm is in action, right? So I'll show you both global and local installation. So first, let's create a text folder, right? In command prompt, type cd desktop. Now we're in the desktop. Okay, great. It's about time somebody knows what they're doing. Um, so now after we are pointing to our desktop, right? Then we're gonna do McDear npm test. So this is what's gonna happen. It's gonna make a folder called npm text on our desktop. Okay. So let's do just that, and it's created. Let's make sure it's there. McDear, where are you? Just press M. Oh shoot, where's McDear? Oh, npm text. There it is. So it's finally created. Yeah, it's created it. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to the next step. Now let's initialize a new npm project. Type npm in it and press enter. Npm will obviously ask several questions: package name, version, description, etc. You can just press enter for all of them, and accept the defaults. You don't have to over overthink or overcomplicate anything. If the wheel's already invented, why would you want to try and recreate a different one? That's you can't reinvent the wheel. It's impossible. It's round. That's it. Okay, so now, like I said, we need to go and type in npm init. Go to this command line prompt, npm init, and it's gonna ask me a question. Package name again. Let's just press enter for all of these. Backspace, enter, 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 and then enter, and then oh, it is a whole bunch of questions. Is this okay? I think this is the part where you say yes. So at the end, it shows you package.json, right? Like I said. So it's gonna ask you, is this okay? And you're gonna have to type yes. And you just create a package. What's going to happen is that you're just going to create a package JSON. So this file tracks all your project dependencies, the package your project uses. So we're going to go ahead and just accept it. We're going to hit yes or Y. Let's just type the whole yes. So now we're good on that end. So, so now let's install a package, right? So that's the whole purpose of npm is to install packages. So I'll install a popular one called Aldash, I believe is pronounced. I never understood how to pronounce that stuff, which provides useful utility functions. Like we're gonna go ahead and just type npm install Aldash. Let's go ahead and do that. Npm install. So we're gonna do that. It's gonna install it, and then I'll be back because I gotta take a quick break. Hello everyone. Good morning. It's pretty early in the morning today, and today I'm gonna go ahead and walk you through installing node.js and npm. So we all know that, well, I hope you know that npm is a node package manager for Windows. So npm is essential for modern web development. It basically allows you to easily install and manage JavaScript libraries and frameworks. So it's perfect for beginners. If you want to go ahead and install React, Vue, Angular, or any JavaScript development. So today we're installing npm, which stands for Node Package Manager, as I said before. If you're getting into web development, you obviously need npm. So let me explain why. So npm is a tool that lets you install and manage code packages. So think of them as pre-built code libraries that other developers have created. So instead of writing everything from scratch, you can install packages with a single command. So if you want to use React, npm can install it for you. So if you need, like, let's say a formatting library, npm has thousands to choose from. So now npm comes from, or should I say npm comes bundled with node.js. So not node.js is a JavaScript runtime that lets you run JavaScript on your computer. So as you can see, I know you're looking at the screen right here, and I'm getting this error here. I ran the command node hyphen version, and it gives me, well, this doesn't give me an error. What gives me an error is npm hyphen version. So there's a workaround for this. So before we keep going in the installation process, or learning about npm node package manager, we have to fix this error right here. So I'm just gonna I copy and paste this execution policy command, and it should fix. Well, that doesn't belong there. Let me control all and then delete this, and then copy and paste it here, and it should. There you go. So it looks like we are successful in this case. So let's run npm hyphen version again. Hopefully it doesn't give us an error, and it doesn't. So that definitely worked. So keep that in mind. So basically, as I was saying, npm is a tool that lets you install and manage code packages. So think of it as pre-built code libraries that other developers have already created. So other developers can create different, small, like let's call them plugins. In this case, we call them packages. And then you're able to use npm to install these packages so they can help you build your application. In this case, a web application. So instead of writing everything from scratch, you can install packages with a single command, right? So if you want, let's say React, you can definitely use npm to install it. So let's just get this out the way. npm comes bundled with node.js. Node.js is a JavaScript runtime that lets you run JavaScript on your computer or in your local host, not just in the web browser. So when you install node.js, you automatically get npm. So you're going to go ahead and use npm for installing frameworks like, again, React, Vue, or Angular. These are all packages that are pre-bundled. And it manages your project dependencies, running build tools like Webpack or Parcel. Parcel's an amazing server. It makes things a lot more easier whenever you want to go ahead and run your site on your local host. Parcel is amazing. You guys should look into that. Matter of fact, I've created a video tutorial with using Parcel as my main server, and SAS, CSS, cascading style sheets, in this case SAS, and basically any modern JavaScript development. So that's what npm is capable of doing. You know, even if you're just learning web development, you're definitely going to encounter npm very quickly. So the good news is installation is super straightforward. There's two versions we can install. We got the LTS, which is the long-term support, which is a stable and recommended for most users, and current, which has the latest features but might be less stable. So we're obviously going to go with LTS, which is long-term support. Again, we already got it. We already have it installed, so we don't have to worry about that process. Now let's just run some commands to see if we have it working. And let's say we want to create a new directory. We can just type in McDeer. And after you type McDeer, all you have to do is just type the name of the folder. So let's say my first app. And there we go. And we've created this folder, and it looks like it's in the desktop npm test. Let's look into it, right? So let me see, npm test. Let's go in here. Oh yeah, so there it is, my first app. And we already went through the download process, so I don't think that that's necessary at the moment. But just for funs and giggles, if that's the way you say the phrase, you're gonna go ahead and open node.js website, which is a simple Google search. So if we go to node.js right here, node, well, nodejs.org. I already have it on my hyperlink. Again, we're gonna go for the latest LTS. We're gonna click on that button right there, and then we could go ahead and download the latest version when it comes to the long-term service, or was it the long-term? Excuse me. Um, long-term support. I don't want to get that confused. So this would be the most recent one, but instead of having to guess which one you want to download, you might just want to go back to download and then click here, which is going to give you the latest version. And then you could go ahead and download the Windows installer. You could download the standalone binary, but then you have to unzip it and then look inside the folder and see what file to execute. Yeah, you don't want to do all that because you might execute the wrong file. So if you download the Windows installer, which I already done, see, this is the second time I downloaded. All you have to do is just click here. Once you click here, the installation process will start. Let me see more info. Run anyway. Yeah, I would click run anyway because we do recognize this file. We just downloaded it, but since I already went through the process, I don't think that it's necessary at the moment. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and X this out. Finish. So I already created a video explaining how this works, so I'm gonna go ahead and skip to installing some of the packages with npm. We're gonna go ahead and go all the way to the bottom. Downloading and installing node.js. I don't think that that's the one I'm looking to install. So, I mean, we could verify the installation, which we already did. And it was a simple two commands, either node hyphen hyphen version or npm hyphen hyphen version. So everything checked out. And again, the path variable was something that you guys probably never have to run into because you don't have to go into the actual configuration settings to set it up. So be happy that you don't have to go through that madness. It could get complicated, but in this case, you don't have to worry about that. It just gives you the not the possibility, but the means of running npm from any folder and command prompt. So the path is like a list of folders, Windows searches when you type a command. It gives you more access in a global sense. So obviously, if you get an error saying node is not recognized, npm is not recognized, it usually means the path wasn't set correctly. The easiest fix is to restart your computer and try again. So you could either do that, or the installer sometimes needs a restart to fully update the path. Or you might want to go into the path variable. Now that's a little shaky right there, but I don't think it's gonna go that far. So assuming everything works, and it should, then we can go ahead and try and run some actual npm commands, which we already did. And it worked out perfectly fine. As you can see, we created a folder, right? And we could run again the npm version, but that we already did that and it worked out fine. So we definitely have npm and node.js installed. We could go ahead and install our first package. So we can do both global and local installation. So first, let's create a test folder, which I already did in command prompt. You would type cd desktop, and then you go to your desktop, then type mcdir npm text, which we've already done. And we're currently right here at our desktop, right? And we did create this folder, which is npm text. And then within npm text, we created this file or folder right here, my first app. So now let's initialize a new project. So we're going to type npm init and press enter, and then npm will ask several questions, such as the package name, version, description, etc. You can just press enter for all of them, just to accept the default. So type answers if you want to, just for practical purposes. So at the end, it'll show you a package.json file. It's then going to ask you, is this okay? You're going to type yes and press enter. So pretty much you just created a package.json file. This file tracks all your project dependency, the packages your project uses. So let's go ahead and do that, right? So I'm going to type in npm init, and so it says this utility will walk you through creating a package.json file. It only covers the most common items, so then and tries to guess sensible defaults. So press enter at any time to quit. No, press actually Control C to quit. We're not gonna quit now. We're gonna name it npm test. And let me see if I could name it npm test 2. I'll press enter and enter again. Description. Let's just say npm hyphen test exploration. Let's just say explorer. Entry point is fine. Test command is fine. Give us, that's fine. No keywords. No, well, we could have put the author, but that's too late now, I think. Just press enter. Yep. Is it okay? We're gonna press OK, and it's gonna create our package.json. So there you go. That's your package.json. And if we look in here, it's gonna give us all our dependencies. This is way too large. Control Shift P. And we're gonna decrease the editor font size. Control Shift P. We're gonna decrease the once more. Let's do it one more time. There you go. So as you can see, we have the name, which is npm test, which is what we named it, and then we'll put a 2 to distinguish it from the other name, which was just npm test. And the version is 1, which means that this is version 1 of our current application that we're working on. The description is correct, Explorer, npm text 2 Explorer. I didn't put an author name, but we could put the author name now, right? Just gonna put my name in here. And the type is common JS, and the main is in this index.js. Let me see something real quick. npm test. There you go. So when you type in npm text, you're gonna get this right here, as it was declared to do so. So this is key value pair. So the key would be the test, and the value would be what comes right after the colon. In this case, is echo no test specified, and then and exit 1. So as you can see, npm and node.js is working, so that's a plus. We definitely installed it correctly and configured it correctly. So at the end, it's going to show you, like I said, the package.json, and this file tracks all your project dependencies. As of right now, we don't have any dependencies. But as we move along, if we do install a package that depends on specific applications or dependencies, it will definitely show up here. So let's see if we could find a package that does depends on certain other applications. So we're going to install the package. It's going to be called Lodash. So the npm for installing Lodash is self-explanatory, npm install Lodash. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this command. Just going to press Control backtick, Control V, and it's that simple. Zero vulnerabilities. That's always a plus every time you install anything in the command line prompt, or PowerShell or any other platform. You want to make sure that you have zero vulnerability. So that's a plus. Everything's good on that end. Now, let's look at the dependencies. So the dependency is Lodash. Perfect. All right. So as you can see, we've installed Lodash. Now, Lodash, we ran a command, very simple command, npm install Lodash. Now, once we install Lodash, it becomes a dependency in our package.json. So basically, it's like installing packages, or basically installing dependencies on your applications. So in order for basically telling other also developers, hey, listen, my application depends on Lodash. So I suggest you also install it for it to run properly. Or hopefully it comes packaged with my application, which it should, I believe. So as soon as another developer clones my project, they have to run npm install. So npm install automatically um, installs and updates all my dependencies, such as Lodash. Now, it it we have to rerun or reinstall our dependencies because Git does not basically it does not upload node underscore module, this folder here, because it can have thousands of files or hundreds of files, which is unnecessary because all we need to do is obviously run npm install, and then these files will be installed based on the packages that you have, or let's just say, well, I would call them plugins, or in the case of, like, if you're working with WordPress, these are like plugins or small apps that you can use to obviously run your project. So when you clone a website, these files do not come with the website, because it's just gonna make things a lot harder on GitHub's database and mainframe computers. It's a whole bunch of like unnecessary space that's being occupied, when we can just go directly to these different applications and dependencies to have their files saved in their database, and we could just take that from their database, versus having GitHub carry all this unnecessary weight. I'm pretty sure you get the picture. So now that we're done, we can go ahead and type dir or directory, so we can go ahead and list the files that we have installed. Now, again, this is all for practical purposes. So it's just basically let me see. I think this will work. Yeah, directly without the mcdir or dir directory without the npm. So it shows here what we have in our project. We have my first app. We have obviously node underscore module. We got package hyphen lock.json, and then we have package.json. Now we're gonna head and run another command. Excuse me. And this command is just as simple as directory. Actually, that's good enough. I don't think we need to run any more commands. I think we're just learning the basics now, so we don't need to get in too deep into these all these different commands. One of the commands that you're well, let's go through some essential commands. So some of the essentials commands, just to wrap it up. So let me show you more important npm commands you will use regularly. So the first one is obviously is npm install, which we already did, followed by package name. Um, installs that it's going to install that package locally in your project, and if we add um, hyphen g, it's going to install it globally. So that means that it's going to be available everywhere on your computer. So for example, npm install hyphen g no daemon, it's going to install no daemon globally. I don't know if you pronounce it no daemon or nodemon. I think it's no daemon. So to install dependencies listed in a package, not JSON files, you just need to, like we explained earlier, all you need to do is type npm install with no package name. So I mean, just to for practical purposes, if we type npm install hyphen g no daemon, right, it's going to install this dependency globally, and we added it. 5 packages are looking for funding. Yeah, they're looking for funding. So if you got money, send them some cash. I definitely don't have any money right now. So it added 28 packages. Actually, I'm gonna keep recording. If I don't like this little piece right here, I'll just erase it. This is also so I can learn myself, but they don't need to know that, do they? All right. Why is it not? Why is no daemon not recorded as a dependency? I'm checking your package metadata and npm install state to pinpoint why it wasn't saved. I found your root package only includes. So next, I'm checking whether it exists anywhere else. Or it's probably built in. That's why. I confirm no daemon is not installed in this project at all. I'll quickly check if it may have been installed globally, which is the common reason it doesn't appear in. Yeah, it was installed globally. So it is not included because no daemon was installed globally, not in your project. What did I verify? Your local manifest package.json only has low dash under dependency. Local dependencies check showed no no daemon at project root. Global check shows no daemon installed at version. npm installs it system wide, so it does not update. Running no daemon via npx also does not save it automatically. How to record it in this project from your workspace root, run npm install, then confirm it appears under the developer dependency package. Hmm. Okay. All right. So this is a part that I'm definitely going to cut out. I don't want to jump all over the place. I mean, there's some good pointers there. Again, we already went through npm install hyphen g no daemon. It's going to be installed globally, and don't be surprised because it's not going to come out in your dependency list. As you can see, we did install no daemon and no dependency. So if we were to install it Now, let's say if we do this over here for developer, and we press enter. So now it's a developer dependency. So now we have under node underscore modules, and it's so you can see it's right in here. Okay, these are all the folders and files located within node underscore modules. Or we could have easily installed it without the D, and then it'll be a normal dependency. But I don't think that that's necessary to have them in so many places, no? Well, it's not going to come up because it's already installed globally. Okay. So the next command that we can run for practical purposes is npm. We can npm uninstall followed by package name to remove the package, and npm update is obviously to update all your packages to their latest version. We also have npm list, shows all installed packages in your project, and if we add --def equals 0, we're just going to see only top level packages without the dependency. So if we type in --0 def 0 after npm list, so npm list and --0 def 0, we're going to see that the ones at the top will come out first. So it's only top level packages without their dependencies. So one more important thing, right? When sharing projects, never share the node underscore module folder. It can be huge, right? So that's the whole point of version control, not uploading it to GitHub. So just share your package.json file. So anyone can recreate node underscore module by running npm install. So with the package.json file, as soon as you type in npm install, it's going to install all its corresponding dependencies. Like I said, it's going to go to each individual um, package owner and their wherever they save their files that creates their program or package. Then you can go ahead and download it from their individual site or database. So, I mean, you could find millions of packages at npm js.com. So you can search for whatever you need. You can read the documentation and then you can install it. So if we quickly go to this site, you should be acquainted with this site because you're probably going to visit this site more than often. So let's go to the site just so we can view what it looks like. I believe that was it right there, but let's just go ahead and type it in the bar and search bar, and that's what it looks like. I mean, it's very simple. You can like type, let's say, color manager or something, like anything. If you want a color manager or anything color, just press enter. Verify I'm human. Once again. Okay, so let's say color convert. Click on that right there on that link, and you follow these instructions, for example, and you can go ahead and install color convert. So it just simply gets the property of the from and to conversion that you're looking for. So all functions have a rounded and unrounded variants. By default, return values are rounded. To get the unrounded results, simply track on that roll to the functions. Okay, so that's how the this program works. It's converting the hexadecimal to lab. In this case, that's going to be the output for this hexadecimal. And then RGB to CMYK. So 167.255.4 is going to equal to 35.0, right? So it's a simple program for those that work with color palettes or who would like to work with different formats of of designing in different color forms or format, then this is it for you. We're not working with any of this stuff. I mean, it looks pretty simple to install. I might just give it a go just for practical purposes. Let's go ahead and give it a go. Why not? Have a little backbone. Come on, developers, you can do it. So we're gonna go ahead and just copy and paste this and then press enter. And as you can see, color converter is now part of our dependencies. This is pretty much telling other developers, like we said, that they clone our um, project. Hey, listen, this is how our project is gonna work. Just run npm install. You're gonna be straight. Everything's gonna be fine. So now we can give it a test. No, yeah, but this might involve more than just these lines of codes. But let's give it a try. So we're gonna copy this, right? And we're gonna create a new, mm, yes. So we're gonna create a new file. I'm gonna call it test.js. And in here, I'm just gonna, so you're gonna go ahead and copy and paste and control save. And then you're gonna run nodejs.js. But before you do that, I suggest you do a console log so you get a log on your terminal. .log. And within here, you're gonna choose one of these variables. In this case, they're constant variables, and you're going to go ahead and put it in within the parentheses. And RGB channels is good. Go ahead and put your semicolon, and then you're gonna put this command in here, which is the name of your file. Press enter, and yep, you got an error. Now this error occurs because we're looking for module, but in our case, if you go to package.json, we have here the type is common.js. So you have to change this to module. Module. Press Control S if you want. In my case, it saves automatically, but out of habit, I always press Control S. And now, if you run the command, shouldn't have a problem. There you go. The answer is 3, which is correct. The answer is 3. So this was a quick introduction of how to use npm. This website is amazing. It has hundreds, if not thousands, of different dependencies and packages that you can upload to your site or to your project to make it work smoothly and to actually have a successful um, web application that you built. So, I mean, that's it. You now have npm installed and know the basics. So happy coding. Happy coding. So, hey, listen, pat yourself on your back. You successfully installed Node.js and NPM. You verified the installation and even installed your first package. So, NPM is now ready to be used and utilized for all your JavaScript development needs. Practice using the commands we covered, right? Explore packages on npmjs.com and start building projects. In our upcoming tutorial, we'll use NPM to create real applications with React, Vue, and other frameworks. So keep learning and happy coding.